Because like if you rip out a baby from the womb, it's not gonna survive.
That's a
Like
baby's natural environment. It's to be in its mother's womb. And if you rip it out of that natural environment, then yes. If any of us got taken out of our natural environment, if one of us got sent to Mars, yes, we would die because we're out of our natural environment. That baby is a human at the earliest stage of development, and its natural environment is its mother's womb.
yeah, but like my issue is like not even that it's in this natural environment. My issue is that that natural environment requires someone else to go through something.
And that's the nature of motherhood, though, right? Because the baby's already been conceived. It's a human life.
Yeah, but like
And
you can't force someone to carry for
if
nine
it
months.
if the alternative is murdering an innocent child, then
Damn it!
yes.
Damn it!
Yeah.
Fuck it. I would rather murder that innocent child than force someone to carry like a baby for 9 months. Like genuinely, that's my stance.
Yeah. I think that's very sad. I would ask you to think
Damn.
about it. Yeah, I would ask you just to think about why are you valuing this human less than another. I would ask you to think about that because I think that's a slippery slope, valuing any human any less than another
Yeah,
human.
but also forcing another human to do something to make you feel morally good. That's another slippery slope.
I'm not forcing anyone to do anything.
You're forcing someone to carry to have to carry a child. My biggest issue with like pro-life is that when you start like creating these legislative laws, doctors can't do their jobs. Doctors are put in the position where sometimes they do have to do an abortion because that's a medical procedure, and they can't do their job, and then both parties end up dying.
No, so actually, if a doctor isn't doing their job, that's malpractice, right? And there's no pro-life laws that prevent doctors from saving the mother.
No, but
There's no pro-life
but
laws.
there's laws where it's like how the laws are interpreted. It forces doctors to have to decide how close is this mother to dying before I'm able to perform these procedures.
Nope. So they will actually try to save both lives, right? So they will give the mother the care she needs, and they won't purposely end the child's life. They will try to save the child in the process. If it happens to be before the point where the child can survive outside of the womb on its own, then unfortunately it will pass away. And that's a sad situation, but you didn't intentionally kill the baby and then remove it. There's a difference between trying to preserve the baby while saving the mother.
But there's multiple cases where like in them waiting to decide like when it's a good time for them to do these procedures, the mother ends up not necessarily dying, but like horrible things end up happening. Like they can lose their fertility. So many other things happen because they waited so long.
So most of those medical complications are happening later in the pregnancy when the child is bigger. And an emergency C-section would actually be the safest and quickest way to remove the baby, right? You're saving the mother, you're removing the child, but you're not killing the child. You're removing the baby via cesarean section, and the baby hopefully can live. You're not intentionally killing it and removing it. Because
you're arguing against bodily autonomy.
Then you're arguing just the same against bodily autonomy because the baby doesn't have any bodily autonomy. You're not giving it the right to life.
Yeah, and I'm fine with that.
So then you yourself are
and I'm fine with
arguing
against the baby's bodily autonomy when that baby first cannot survive on its own. When that baby's like survival is forcing someone else to make a decision that they don't want to make. Some people should have the right to choose if they want to carry or not.
Okay. If a mother has a 1-year-old and the 1-year-old's an inconvenience to her life circumstances make it difficult to raise a child, can she kill that child?
No, because at that point that 1-year-old does have protection. Actually, no, I won't use the word legal protection. At that point, that 1-year-old is like physically in this outside world. They should have protection.
The 1-year-old baby does have legal protection.
Oh wait, not legal protection. That baby has personhood at that point. It's an actual person at that point.
When does personhood begin?
Like after birth.
When the baby leaves the mother, when the baby's birth, it suddenly becomes a person.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's different about the baby 5 seconds before it left its mother and 5 seconds after?
Truly nothing. You just need a line to like demark.
So then why is it okay to kill the baby when there's no difference just because of its location?
Okay, but like when you start sort of like finally trying to like break down these laws of like 5 seconds before, 5 seconds after. You can do the same thing with like an 18-year-old. Like 5 seconds before they're not a legal adult, and 5 seconds after, there's nothing that's truly changing. It's just you get that title, I suppose.
I'm not saying we should kill 18-year-olds.
No,
before versus after.
No, but I'm saying like how like they not changing legal status. I don't want to use the word legal status, but 5 seconds before, most people they're not having abortions like that. 5 seconds before that child could survive on its own.
But you just said it's not a person up until then.
Yeah, it's not.
So you're saying you're fine with abortions up until 9 months?
I would be. Like,
even though there's no difference besides location.
There's no, yeah, I would be. Because I know for a fact most people, they're not having abortions at 9 months.
But that's not what I asked you. I asked you if you're okay with it.
And I am okay with it. If someone wanted to make that choice, I'd be like, okay, that is your decision.
Yep, so I don't think we can't base people's value just based on location. I think everything you've told me tells me you're basing this baby's value on the size and location and level of consciousness that they have.
No, I'm mostly basing its value on like how it's affecting. I will always put the mother's life priority over this child.
Okay, and I think we're just going to disagree there because I don't think that any life should have any value, any more value than another life. I think all life should be equal. We're all created equal, and no person should be valued above another person.
But
because that's what you're telling me.
My issue with that is, why should that baby be able to affect the mother's life? Like, just because someone ended up conceiving a child, are they forced to just like have to deal with that kid?
So that mother consented to the possibility of getting pregnant at the point that she decided to have sex. So if she gets pregnant as a result.
No, when she chose to have sex, sex doesn't entitle pregnancy. Like, so are you telling me, so anyone that chooses to have sex, they should have to deal with the possibility that they could be pregnant, even if you have an IUD, even if you use a condom, even if you do everything that you possibly can?
If you choose to have sex, you are consenting to the possibility of getting pregnant.
And that doesn't work like that. Like, consent doesn't.
But it is. What else comes of sex? What's the biological reason for sex, though?
If you want to argue reproduction, then you should only have sex when another person's ovulating.
No, so the biological reason for sex is procreation, right?
Okay. Yeah,
and so the fact that that is what can come of pregnancy should tell you that at the point you decide to have sex, you are consenting to that possibility.
No, that is not fair to force people to have to deal with consenting to deal with like a whole new human being just because they want to have sex. That's where I'm just.
Yeah, if you're not equipped to have a child, then don't have sex. You know what I mean? The possibility is there, and I think, sure, you can go ahead and have sex, but you just need to be ready for that possibility. There is a chance, and you can't kill this child because the child has already been conceived. Once the baby's conceived, it's a human being. There's no changing that, and you can't just end the child's life out of convenience.
Nah, I still think you can, and I'm just gonna like stop this conversation.
Yeah, because I think we just disagree there.
We have like 2 different points.
I think we just disagree there, but thanks for talking. Yeah.